My name is Sean Levine. Welcome to Waxing the Carrot. Today's carrot is Climate Wars by Gwynne Dyer, Part 2. In the first part, we learned about food shortages causing conflicts, wars, that kind of stuff, and water shortages and stuff like that. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about the feedback mechanisms, which Gwynne talks about in his book, and as a result, why we need to keep climate change within the 1 to 2 degree range. The IPCC, which is like, you're doomed, you're doomed, you're doomed, do these few things, you're still doomed, but it'd be nice if you tried. That 1,000 scientists consensus that writes reports for the government, and the politicians just kind of go, yeah, it's really important, I'm going to get right on that after lunch, and you never see them again. They're talking about 1 to 2 degrees because after 1 to 2 degrees of warming, climate change or whatever, you get natural feedback loops which take climate change out of our hands. So we could be doing everything we possibly can to prevent climate change and stuff like that, or we're sticking carbon dioxide underneath our bed and nothing will happen because the natural world has its own mechanism which will kick in and take it out of our hands. So let's talk about one. First one is basically the ice sheet up in the Arctic, which is about 10 million square kilometers in the wintertime, which is about the same size as the continental United States, and it bounces the sunlight off of the into the atmosphere and prevents the warming. And if it melts in the wintertime and it melts in the summertime, you don't have an ice sheet. And if you don't have an ice sheet, the sunlight comes directly into the dark ocean, starts to heat up the atmosphere, could go, 2, 6, 8, 10, 12 degrees hotter. And if you're losing food at 2 degrees, you can imagine how little there's going to be to chew on when you're up, 12 degrees. So, and how do you pull 10 million square kilometers out of, you can't build it. Okay. 2, also up in the Arctic is the permafrost, where you've got like gases trapped in the frozen earth and ice and stuff like that or whatever in the water and on the land. And as we go above 1 to 2 degrees, the scientists are saying that trapped gas is going to be released in the atmosphere, and it could heat the atmosphere up, could put as much greenhouse gas as we have there now, so doubling greenhouse gas or more. And as a result, we'd be in for more climate change and we wouldn't be able to do anything because we can't refreeze the Arctic. We just don't have the technology. And that would leave us kind of in the lurch too. So that's another feedback mechanism. Third feedback mechanism in Gwynne's book is the oceans. The oceans are doing us a huge solid, and they are taking up 1/3 of the pollution, carbon dioxide that we produce, and as a result, they're becoming carbonated, becoming like carbonic acid. But as the temperature rises on the Earth, we go beyond the 1 to 2 degree limits that they think are semi-safe because they don't really know. Everything's happening way faster than modeling can predict. The IPCC is like, nope, the model's no good still because it's happening so fast. They know that at some point the oceans are going to start releasing the gas. They're not going to be a sink anymore for our pollution. They're going to return the pollution back to us. Here you go, Tucker. And they're going to give it back to us because as the oceans warm, just like warm beer, warm pop, they can hold less gas in solution. That gas starts coming out. We have no control of that because we can't cool the oceans down. It's a very large body of waters. Okay, now there's also one more doomsday scenario, like you weren't already putting the gun in your head. Something called Canfield oceans, and as the oceans heat up, and they think this is potentially a mass extinction thing that's happened several times in the past, is that the ocean currents no longer circulate to the entire ocean oxygen throughout the entire water column, and as a result, sulfurous bacteria trapped in the seabed by oxygen in the ocean are able to come out, and they create a sulfurous ocean, which can lead to a sulfurous atmosphere. Which can result in nothing alive that we would recognize as the Earth. But I'm sure the sulfurous bacteria love it. It's our time! It's our time! Your time is over! It's our time! And then they're like, do the little happy dance. So those are the feedback mechanisms. That's why kind of we have to get on climate change as quickly as we can to prevent the feedback mechanisms from taking it out of our hands. And I guess the moral of the story is prevent sulfurous bacteria discos at all costs. At all costs. We must stop them from dancing on our graves. That's all I'm saying. Wait for part 3 where I will offer some solutions. Don't kill yourself yet. Bye-bye.